Welcome everyone to this special conversation. And I say special because, as someone from the Congolese community, this moment fills me with pride and hope. For so long, culturally at least, there were things that we just didn't talk about, not because they didn't matter, but because we were taught to stay silent. Topics that carry fear, shame, or misunderstanding became part of our silence. But now we're seeing courageous voices rise up, people who are breaking those taboos, choosing honesty over fear, and working to equip the next generation with the knowledge and confidence we didn't always have. And today we are shining lights on that change by celebrating the launch of two works designed to heal, educate, and empower. Maman Jeanine Banza new course, God's Gift of Your Body, a multicultural faith-based approach, and her book, Harmonies de Mélancolie. The course is a groundbreaking program that helps parents and caregivers teach children as young as 3 about body safety, self worth, and identity through the lens of faith and cultural understanding. The book, Harmonie de Mélancolie, is a moving collection that blends poetry, reflection, and spiritual insight to remind us of the beauty and depth of the human experience. So today we'll explore the heart behind both works, what inspired her to start this journey, how they speak to our communities, and why it's time to that we bring these conversations to light. Maman Janine, welcome, and I am truly happy to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and thank you so much, Eve, for inviting me. I feel honored to be on your podcast.
Pleasure is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. So, let's just jump to it, okay? So, but first, for those who don't know you or who don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'm Mama Jeanine. I am a mother of three adult children. I am a spouse. I'm also
Mhm,
a caregiver who is truly passionate for the well-being, holistic well-being of mother, young mothers, and children.
mm. Wow, that's very inspiring. You know, so let's start with. I wanted to start by talking about the book, the course, God's Gift of Your Body. So, since this program is designed for children between the age of 3 and 5, allow me to set the stage a little bit, okay? So we can better understand what's happening during that period. All right. Do I have your permission to do that?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm a therapist and I look everything through the lens of therapy and child development as well. All right.
Mhm,
So, according to child development theories, at age 3 to 5, children are in a major period of development
mhm,
mentally, physically, and emotionally.
mhm,
All right. Mentally, they are in what Piaget calls pre-operational stage. That means what? They are imaginative, they are curious, and they're still very self-focused. So pretend play becomes their way to learn, and at that period of time, their language skills take off. Okay,
mhm,
so they can solve a simple problem, but big logic concepts are still forming. Socially and emotionally, they want to do things on their own. They take initiative and they also want to be seen as capable. They are learning empathy and their play become more cooperative and connected. Physically, you see, you have their coordination is growing quickly. They can run, they can jump, and they can climb with confidence. They become able to draw, use scissors, and start dressing themselves. They are full of energy, and active play is essential to strengthening their bodies and motor skills. But what makes this stage truly powerful is how moldable the children are. I mean, the brain is incredibly plastic, meaning that every nurturing experiences, every learning moment, every positive interaction is literally shaping the foundation of who they will become.
Mhm.
So, what we teach them about their bodies, their identity, and their worth matters more than what we can imagine.
Mhm.
All right. So now we can see that at this stage, children are learning about who they are and what their bodies mean. But yet, in some of our communities, these topics are still surrounded by silence.
Mhm.
So, what made you say, no, we need to start this early? We need to start this conversation early and we need to do it differently. What
Mhm.
made you say that?
Yeah, that's a great question. In fact, I work with the majority of population. I do work on my professional place
Hmm.
or either on my the community works. I work with a great percentage of immigrant mother and children, and I see the disaster that are being done as physically as mentally in terms of physical, emotional abuses
Hmm.
compared to the other communities who are not immigrant. So
Hmm.
that struck me and made me to understand that there was a major problem on verbalizing the things that matter to our children in terms of emotion, in terms of body protection,
Hmm.
safety boundaries. We teach our children to obey blindly, especially young girls, and this is causing disaster, not only in their bodies, but also in their emotions. And parent who is listening me now, we need to stop that. We need to take into consideration our children emotions because they do have one. They were born with emotion. In Africa, we start this at the beginning in the crib. When the baby is in the crib, I myself have been taught not to pick up a baby who is crying from the crib because that means spoiling. So God, I learned that,
Hmm.
and many other millions of African mothers and other very conservative culture where um, speaking is not allowed.
Hmm.
Our children grow up under a dominant authoritarian parenting style, and we do not realize that it's time to change it because it's not working anymore. Today, I know you should be familiar to that. I just learned last week staggering statistic that say that 1/3 of American children today estrange their parent when they become adult.
One third American of
Yes,
American
yes,
children
I
are
just
estranged
learned
from their
that. I went
parents.
and checked, and those estrangement, those conflict between parent and children did not start when the children become adult. It's because those children never had a voice, never felt seen or heard while they were under their parental house. And all of a sudden, they say, oh, I'm becoming an adult. Now I have a voice. But they cannot still express that. They leave just the parent. They cut ties with the parent. This is really a problem. It's a now problem, and it's urgent. Parents are crying. When I say 1/3,
Hmm.
that means it's around us.
Hmm.
It's around us. So there is a lot of it's a big problem. Children who were silenced when growing now are learning in open culture, now are learning to voice but still they have when they leave home like that, they live with feeling of anger that they will never express, that they go to express to you, Eve, as a therapist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And they talk to
I
you.
see a lot. Yeah, I see a lot of young men or young women coming in, and when I ask like, "What's your relationship with your parents?" And like, I haven't talked to my parent in 20 years. All right, those are normal like those are normal answers that I'm getting for young people now.
Yes, it's a trend. It's a trend. That's why I'm here just to bring awareness. It's a big trend. And the only way we can fix that, we can work this trend when they become adult. It's hard. It's a lot of work. We have to put, healing relationships. It's a work. And it's getting worse and worse, harder and harder when the children grow up. That's why I come with this class. When you start it at age 3 and 5, it's become natural. The children, they have a voice, they know you see them, and they know they matter, their voice matter. They're not only there just for performance of grades, of GPA, of athletic performance, especially in us African parents.
Mm, okay. All right. So the next question, I think it's a good jump into the next question because you say you're a mother of three, right? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. I have two boys myself, right? I'm also a parent. But I think I heard you talking about, I think it was an interview last week, and I heard you say that your own experience raising kids in the United States played a major part in your decision to write the book and create the course. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I told you, I have two boys. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, I'm going to tell you something that happened to me just last Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're coming from church, and my firstborn son, who is 11 years old, he, he completely took me off guard. Right. He asked me the following question. We were in the car. Right. He asked me, like, "Hey, Dad, how did I get in my mother's belly?"
Oh,
Right.
wow.
So,
Wow, wow, wow.
I can tell you, like, my heart
So it just
skipped a beat
recently happened.
last Sunday,
Oh
right?
my
It was
God.
last Sunday. So my heart skipped a beat, right? And the African parents in me, the African man in me was like, yo, code red. Like what should we do? Like,
Yes.
but I had to calm myself down. Right? I've really calmed myself down. And to be honest, I don't know if I handled this the right way because we were still in the car, I was still driving, there was a lot of things going on. But I told him that I would answer his question, but he should start looking at biology first. All right,
Mm-hmm.
all right, and then when you have an idea, then we can have a conversation about it. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if that was the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my question for you, though. You know, here in the United States, many of us fathers are much more actively involved in raising and guiding our children,
Mm-hmm.
and we are also raising them in a world that's very different from the one we grew up in, right?
Exactly.
Again, I'm talking about the diaspora here. So when those hard questions come about their bodies, the safety and identity, how can we respond in a way that respect our cultural roots
Mm-hmm.
and yet prepare them for the environment that they're living in now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how can we do that?
So that's what I provide in my class, in
Mm-hmm.
those classes, 3 to 5 years old. And then I'm so surprised to hear that you're 11 years old asking you this question. So this is so relevant. Usually, they start manifesting signs of curiosity around 3 to 5. You watch them, you know them. It's not
Mm-hmm.
basically each parent has the capacity to know her children. And you know how they show curiosity, even though they don't verbalize it.
Mm-hmm.
When a mom comes home with a new baby, handing a new baby, and breastfeeding that baby, if you have a 3 to 5 years old, you'll see their curiosity through their eyes, even though they don't say that. So we call that it a teaching opportunity. They will look the mom who is breastfeeding with this young baby that just come home, and they look at you, they look at that, you can go ahead and say, so, oh, this is beautiful. Present it as a beautiful things of nature that grow. Make a story around that. Oh,
Mm.
are you surprised? Mom, where this milk coming? Oh, the milk, God made it when I was carrying this baby, made it for me to give to the baby. Just it was for you, so the
Mm.
baby will have food. The milk was from when the baby was in the belly. You start with young children that, but as the child developed, like from 11 years old is almost 18, you have
Mhm.
to go in correct term and tell exactly. Actually, I have script. I have great script for
Mm.
parents. I'm telling you right now, a parent watching me, you don't have to fumble over those questions anymore. And it's okay to tell the child, oh, let me go find the answer if you do know, instead of lying. We used to be
Mm.
lied. We used to
Mm.
be lied when the baby comes home. We used to be told that the baby comes from what? From I don't know. Anyway, it
From a
was all
bird. Yeah, sometimes people would say like the baby came from a bird or somebody dropped it off at home or something like that, right? Those are the lie that we had, that
yes.
we were told.
Yes. So we that is wrong. So we have actually that my in my class I provide script for parents to, because for me, like I tell everybody, I create this class for myself too, for a grandmother to become one day by the grace of God. Really, I will use those scripts because like from experience, you touch a point, you say, most of my inspiration came from my daughter's question, whom whose question I couldn't handle. I was ashamed. I didn't know how to start. So what I was doing, I will go when I do my community work. I have booklet, pamphlet. I will go and take those booklet, pamphlet, and read those to them, because I was so shy. I feel embarrassed. I didn't know from where to start. Now I want them, you, if your generation, to break that shame and to make it natural to tell the child the truth.
Gotcha.
3, 5 years are ready to know the name of their body in correct terms, please, African parent. You watching me. Everybody, every part of the body has been created for a purpose and has a correct name. We don't put those little names, those, you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
it began there. It started there. That's where the education started. When people, most of African parents, when they hear about sexual education, they freaked out. They freaked out. I said, no, 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 my child. It's not, that the reason I made one program. I was invited to talk, and I
Mhm.
read the comment when because during the program I said that the parents should start around 3 and 5. Most of the comments coming from the African parents were very negative of the fact of starting educating a child around
Mm.
age 3 and 5.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of cultural taboo that
Yes.
are around that area, especially in
Yes,
sexual
that's why I'm talking to
education.
the next generation, next dad, next I myself, I'm a next grandmother to become, and I'm ready for this. I'll read the script to them, and once when you read the script at the beginning, then it's become it's not scripted. It's become a natural conversation, because it's hard. We have to break that. We have really to make sure we break that, not bring that to the next generation. So the first part is to learn the correct names of each body part.
Mm.
Your body belongs to you. Do you know what that means? Who are the safe adults you can trust? And also, we have to teach them to name their emotions, how they
Emotional
feel.
intelligence.
Yes, that's very
Mm.
important. We never learn that. So that's very important. So do you know we have to tell the child, do you know the difference between a bad touch and a healthy touch? Who is allowed to touch you? The children, they have to know that. They also have to know which one is the bad secret and the good secret. Those are the foundation. Like those are not negotiable. Every parent who is watching me right now has to make sure. their children, they have those basics.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So very, very paying very careful attention
Yes.
to, first of all, how you teach them. So what you tell them, so use the correct word, not the infantile or the childlike words.
Mm-hmm.
Be very clear and direct with that.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, you talking about body safety, about the touching. So be careful about who touches you and how they touch you, and then
Mm-hmm.
be very aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And thirdly, what I'm also understanding is about emotional, basically teaching
Mm-hmm.
them how to name the emotional, starting the emotion, teaching them about emotional intelligence very early in the
Mm-hmm.
development. All right. All right.
Correct.
Okay. So the another thing, like you talk about script, all right? Like, is there like, do you have many script that you have, different script, or you give a script and then you tell the parent to adapt it to their situation?
Or each the script are adapted to each parent's situation. I have
Mm,
general script, but of course the parent is the best educator. They know better their child, they know what they need. So I'm
mm.
just giving a general where the parents can adapt to their child.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So is one other thing that when I was really going over doing the research about your course and the book as well, one powerful element that I got to me was both your course and your book are rooted in spiritual principles. So they honor both faith and culture, which are two forces that deeply shape children and families. So, how did you bring those two elements together in a way that not only protect children, but also strengthen their sense of identity, belonging, and faith?
Mm-hmm. Great question. I do work either in at the hospital
Mhm,
or in my community work. I do work with multicultural people. So I
mhm,
work with Hindu, I work with Buddha, I work with Christian moms. I work really with a large part of people,
mhm,
and most of the some of beside my daughter's question inspiration, most the second source of inspiration is my conversation with my coworkers,
mhm,
my people from church, and I do hear concerned, anxious parents just concerned about the over progressive culture. And most of them will tell me, especially my Indian friend, they'll say, please, Jeanine, tell me example that I base my, that where I base my writing based on what they tell me. Of course, I will hide the identity, but they will tell me, please go and put that in your book. I know they know everybody who is close to me know how dedicated I've been on this topic, and they will basically tell me, please go ahead and put this on your book. Recently, a parent came to me and told me, Mama Jeanine, do you know that was an Indian lady, and one of her friend's child who is 11, I believe, was was having some issue,
mhm,
and then they were discussing along with the other parent, and the parent said, oh, okay, oh, I think she has this child has so many issues, no sleeping night, a lot of anxiety, even depression. I think they should go see a therapist. And the other parent said to my friend, they use just chat GPT for emotional comfort. That was the
they
first time I
use
heard that, and it's not
Chat
too long. It's
GPT
not
for
even
emotion.
Chat GPT. Can you
Right.
imagine?
Now, to be honest, right, I've heard some of the craziest stuff out there. Like some people use ChatGPT for as a therapist, other people use ChatGPT as boyfriend or girlfriend, a replacement for boyfriend or
Yeah,
girlfriend, right? And it's a very scary trend right now because
it's
now people are
scary.
not right, like they're not even going to get that social
Mm-hmm,
interaction,
mm-hmm,
talking of having to talk to another human being.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, to me, it's scary. I don't know. Like, how did you react when you heard that?
I got scared. I was terrified. I couldn't believe that. And then I said what I said. I went to Google and see, and what I fell on an article saying that there was a boy whose ChatGPT told to go. The boy was having suicidal idea, and the boy went and killed himself after being advised by ChatGPT. This is a real story because I did check the sources. I couldn't believe, and
Hmm.
it's like I'm telling you, this is a recent finding from me. I couldn't believe that we could go that far
Mm.
in humanity, in emotional absence, in just ignorance and relying on robots, and we're losing humanity practically. Eve, we're losing connection. Children do not even to look people in the eyes. They do not know how to start conversation, and this is
Hmm.
really scary.
Mm. Okay. So tell me, so how that you talk to parents, and how does faith now come into play? Because it's cult. We talked about
Oh yes.
culture, like it's like the culture part is there. Like parents are scared. Some of them don't even understand what Chat GPT or anything like
Mhm,
do, and some of them are very conservative. Like
mhm.
even when you talk about going to see a therapist, a lot of parents, the conservative parents or immigrant parents, are very um, against that. And some of them are very against that.
Yes. Mhm,
But how do you use faith now
mhm,
to guide people, like to
mhm,
get even to create your book, to write your book, or
mhm.
create your course? How does faith come into play?
Yeah, faith. Like, let's see. I'll just go and practical example saying on my
Hmm.
Christian faith.
Hmm.
It said there is a proverb that say, train your child in the way he should go, and he should not depart from it. So I go. So as a parent, we have we have not only the right but the responsibility to train that child. And you must know that when we bring child to the world, until they reach a certain age, I believe it should be 25 years, their front lobe
Hmm.
brain is not mature yet. So we have to direct them, we have to parent them, we have to give them guidance. So this is in every culture.
Hmm.
This is in every culture. We don't live. It's impossible to live. They don't have the capability of taking critical thinking, and even to take decision. So as a parent, we have to do that for them. We basically are their front lobe brain until they reach full maturity. But us, yeah, as African parents, we know that sometimes, we didn't have all the tools. We did the best we could do, but we still, like me, I consider myself as a lifelong learner. I'm still taking class. I'm still taking classes, especially on this topic, just to make sure I'm update, taking certification to make sure I know what I'm talking about. And there is a lot of change. We have to change our way, even Christian, especially in the Christian community, conservative. So many people are still blocked by the way of educating their parents. Praying for children is not education. It's something else. Education is something else. So most of the parent, African parent like me, we know is correct and correct and control children. It doesn't work anymore. Just the control part. Now it's it's more important. I don't know how I should emphasize on this. Connection with your child on day one is what matters today. Connection and presence, not only control and correction.
Yeah, I think you nailed it because as I said, like I don't think I told you I have two kids, but I'm also a divorced dad.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't see my children as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
However, when they are with me, what I really focus on is presence.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like it's especially in the beginning when they were kids, like when we first separated, I made the decision that I did not want my kids to see me as the gift dad or the fun dad or just the person that we go, go
Mm-hmm.
buy things and we have fun. No,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see them to still see me as their father. And then we started talking about different things too. So presence for me became very, very important. So even now, when I have my kids, if you are not somebody that is very close to me and you call me, I'm not picking up.
Great, great,
Right, I'm
great,
not
great,
picking the
great.
phone. Like only the people that are close to me, very. And when I say close, that I'm saying very close.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything outside of that, I'm not picking up the phone because I
Great.
know how important it is for me to be there. And of course, I'm not. We're not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
From
We're
time to
not
time,
perfect.
like
Mm-hmm.
we work and responsibilities, you get tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
But trying to be as present as possible
Mm-hmm.
became my priority,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's has done wonders in my relationship with my kids
Mm-hmm.
now. Right, we able to sit, we able to talk about things, and even like a couple, I think about a year now, for about a year now, I started implementing certain things. Like when I see them on the weekend, I will take them one by one. Right, we go into my room, we sit down, we talk about things. All right, like I'm trying to understand where they are, understand what the transformation that they've been going through, who they're talking to, what are the things that they're worried about, and the I open the floor for them to ask me any question that they have.
Wow.
Anything that you want to talk about, let me know so we can address it. Anything that you're worried about, let's
Mm-hmm.
address it and talk. And my son, both of them have responded very positively
Mm-hmm.
to that way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you said, like presence become more important than control. And I totally understand what you're talking about
Yes,
here.
yes,
Uh,
yes. Yeah. Presence, presence. And like I'm telling a parent, a grandparent who is watching us right now, it's not about perfection. No parent should, there is no perfect parent, that for sure. And no one should try to be that perfect. None of us is perfect. But all of us can be intentional on the presence and on the connection.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So let me, because if I'm understanding correctly, when I was looking, it feels like your course is about protecting and empowering children today. You
Yes.
know, but as we talk about protecting children today, we can't ignore the stories of those who were not protected. The silent wounds that many carry all the way into adulthood.
Yes.
And I think this is where your book, Harmonies de Mélancolie, takes us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read it yet,
Mm-hmm.
but from the little bit I was able to gather, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a story that follows a young girl
Mm-hmm.
who fled the violence of war in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo
Mm-hmm.
and later migrated to the United States,
Mm-hmm.
only to experience another traumatic loss of innocence at just
Mm-hmm.
6 years old
Mm-hmm.
at the hand of a music teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So when I read that, I'm like, this book really addresses a subject that is deeply emotional and often hidden in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is this: like, how personal was this writing journey for you? And
Mm-hmm.
what did it take to put these painful truths
Mm-hmm.
into words?
That's a great question. I started writing the book on 2022. It's actually a true story that I craft under a fictional book, of course, to protect identity, but
Hmm.
it's a true story. And And I used a book as a therapy for myself in regard on what is happening back in our country, in the eastern of Congo. Where Nyota is fleeing from a parent is my village. So I put a little
Mm.
story as like Nyota.
Mhm.
She was just 10 months old, but she fought the invaders that were coming to their house to rape mom and dad and then to go. She was 10 years old. She had powerful forces from ancestor and kill them. That was a therapy. I was giving myself a therapy. See, when diseases are going to be finished, when this war really, I carry deeply the pain of what is going back there in my birthplace. I will say I was born in one the hospital of the place where all those atrocities are happening. So it was then I put all the description of these things in the book on the first part of the book. And on the second part of the book, where Nyota is in the United States getting sexually assaulted by a teacher, that's where I come down in Nyota and start explaining how Nyota spent years, almost 2 decades of nightmare, emotional nightmare, depression, anxiety, smoking, alcohol, and the parent still didn't have clue that the girl was abused as a child. And the girl could not tell her parents because of taboo. And even though
Mhm.
the truth came to be known, the parents were suffocated with taboo of, of naming those things. And
Mm.
the only way they find out that the girl was abused is because another girl who was in the same class as Nyota went to report the crime. It was a
Wow.
long nightmare of therapy. And I wanted the book. This is a book. I want my purpose on bringing this book is also to spark conversation around this topic.
Mm. Wow.
Nyota had to go to sessions of therapy to recover
Wow.
and to become what she is today.
Wow. Like this sounds like a very powerful story, to be quite honest, because even when I'm listening to you talking about it, like you're talking about it with so much conviction, so much power behind your word. And I can feel it that you are very passionate about this subject, even though
Oh
by the
yeah.
way that you just explain that, you know. But one thing that also jumped to me, right, when I was doing that, I was looking at it, is the title that you chose,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's very striking, to say the least. Because when we hear the word harmony or harmony,
Mm-hmm.
we think of beauty, we think of order, we think of unity.
Mm-hmm.
And then you paired it with melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
And melancholy brings to mind sadness,
Mm-hmm.
loneliness, even emotional darkness.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very contrasting feelings. Was that your goal, to have the reader experience those two feelings when they read your book?
Um, First of all, when this book, I told you the book started. I started writing the book. I don't use artificial intelligence. I just write from my heart. So that's one thing that I really like to mention. And I started the book in 2022. And the book, I put the first title, Congo Genocide. Then the
Mm,
person, the mentor I took to guide me through this book, when he read the story, he told me this is a great story. This book is touching. I had actually a guy who read the book who told me he cried after reading the book, but he said, you have to. So he started basically mentor coaching me on how to put it even more powerful, because was actually my first fiction book to write, and writing fiction is not a joke. There is rules, and I have no clue about those rules. I never went to a writing class. I write, I know I write, I know I have the gift, but when it's come, all my previous book were nonfiction, but fiction has rules and stuff like that. So this mentor start mentoring me, coaching me on how to write book. Now the
Mm,
problem was the title. I put Congo genocide, just unveiling. I say on fiction, title has to be veiled to put a little bit mysterious. It has to be mysterious.
mhm,
So I choose. He proposed me a couple of titles, but I came up with Harmonies de Mélancolie by myself. I don't know how, but yes, it was. I just chose it. I used to write poetry. I
mm,
started writing from 16 years old, and I wrote. I have a lot of writing and poetries in my books back way, and
mm,
I love poetry. And when you read this book, you'll feel like it's poetry. So the title came like this. It said, just put some title that's going to bring mystery,
mhm,
intrigue.
mhm.
So that's how I chose Harmony of Melancholy.
That is that. To be honest, that's when I read. First, when Angel sent it to me, I'm like, okay, what is this book about? Because there's two contrasting ideas that you put together as a title. All right, that must be interesting. So when I started looking into it and I look at the story of the girl, I'm like, okay, that they probably that goes along with the title. Like,
Mhm.
I think you still have that mystery, and because you have two contrasting ideas together that bring curiosity,
Curiosity.
we're like, right? It's like,
That
okay, how
fiction.
can
That
something
fiction.
exactly, right? Well, how
Mhm.
can something positive be associated with something so negative, so dark, right? Light and dark together, and you put it together. I
Mhm.
think that was a very, very good title. All right. So
Yes.
to me, that's what attracted me the first time. And I
Wow.
was like,
Wow.
okay,
I'm
like
so
let
glad.
me
I'm so glad to hear that. Yes, so many people are asking me about the title. It's
hmm
supposed so it's supposed to do that. It's supposed to bring curiosity and
hmm
shock that fiction. That
Oh yeah. I was shocked, to be honest. Like I was definitely shocked. All right. So, but let me ask you those now. If you read the readers of the book could hold on to one chapter, right? Like that, 'cause, it has to be the message that stay with them, right? One chapter in the book. Which chapter would you want that to be?
Mm, there is actually a chapter where Nyota go with her parent at church.
Hmm.
Actually, Nyota spent the nightmare by herself for 2 decades. She has been abused by at age 6, and they find out when she was around age 22. And one before they find out, they were sitting at church with parents, and the preacher come and start preaching about child abuse.
Mm,
Regarding to the in referring to the biblical story, actually there is abuse stories in the Bible, and I don't know why Christian parents,
mhm,
even pastor, we don't use that as teaching tools, because stories are great teaching tool. When we come to this difficult, very sensitive subject. So
mhm,
the pastor at church that day, Nyota was sitting, and everything the pastor was explaining was on the history, how uh, a girl was abused. And Nyota looked at her father and was saying, the dad must have gone to the pastor to tell my story, but it was not that. It was just a
mm,
coincidence.
mm, mm.
So I
So
love that chapter.
you love that chapter. So
Hmm.
she went to church. From what I understand, she went to church, and the pastor started telling a story from the Bible,
Hmm.
but that deeply touched her because it was kind of like her own story that the
Common
pastor was
story, the
saying.
story of Tamar in the Bible,
Mm.
who was
Oh,
raped.
yes.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. All right. That's definitely interesting though. So, how can people enroll in the to the course, and where can they get a copy of the book?
To enroll in the course, you have to go, they can go to my website,
Mm-hmm.
www.jeaninebanza.me, and there
Mm-hmm.
is a link. There's go to the course. There is a link that if you click the link, it will take you to the site where the classes are. And the
Okay.
classes are in three languages that they have to make sure they pick the correct language. I put the class in English, French, and Spanish.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Okay.
And also, yes, it's online. And what else? And the book should be on
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, and I'll
Amazon.
announce the launching date.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'll say this is my final question. Okay. So if this conversation was seen, I'll say 50 or to 100 years from now, this conversation that we're having right now,
Mhm.
what do you want future generations to say about you?
That's a great question. I'd love future generation to know me as a passionate person who really love them, and I do love, because I do believe that they are the future, they are our hope. Whatever we miss to do, they can take and continue. We did the best we could,
Hmm.
and where we stop, they can take over and bring up a better world.
Mm, gotcha. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Mom. So, Maman Jeanine, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your vision with us today.
My
But
pleasure.
let me say this though, right? It is my belief that what you've created through your course or your book is more than just contribution. It's to me it's a legacy. Because for too long, our communities have carried silence where we needed understanding.
Yes,
And your work reminds us that we can break that cycle. And you
yes,
said it yourself. We have to break that cycle.
yes, we do.
And we can do it honestly,
Uh-huh.
with courage,
Mhm.
and with love as well.
Yes.
So now to everyone watching and listening, I invite you to be part of this movement. Visit the course, explore the book, and join in supporting a new generation that grows up more informed, empowered, and free of the taboos that held us back. So, for everyone, let us continue this conversation together.
Mhm.
And until next time, my friends,
Okay,
keep
thank you.
rising and thriving.